Hey there, guys, and I just am gonna warn you that this episode is a fucking mess. It's a lot. But I hope you all enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of At the Movies with William Fletcher. As per usual, I am your host, William Fletcher, and this week I am joined by Jay.
Hi.
So yeah, this week's episode is on the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, what a masterpiece.
Do you know why we're doing the Lego Batman movie?
No, why are we doing the Lego Batman movie? Is a sequel coming out?
No, there was a sequel planned, but it has been cancelled and is not happening anymore.
So why are we doing the Lego Batman movie?
Because there's another DC animated film coming out called DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So this is the best thing I could find that is close enough.
I mean, it's a good movie.
So had you seen this movie before?
Yeah. I watched it today for the second time.
Okay. I watched it, last night for the second time as well, for the purpose of this, and I assume you've seen the Lego movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is sort of, I guess, the spiritual sequel to that. But it's not the same. So, yeah.
I mean, they show footage from the Lego movie in this movie.
Yeah, and it's got some of the same voice actors from the Lego movie.
And they talk about being a master builder.
Yes. So it is in the same universe.
Yeah.
This is a Batman film, but it's Lego.
And then in the Lego Movie 2, they reference this movie.
I haven't seen the Lego Movie 2.
Fucker.
I heard it wasn't as good, so I haven't seen it yet.
I like the Lego Movie 2.
More than the first one?
I don't know.
You don't remember, that's like you don't remember movies. So I guess, do you just want to jump right in and just sort of go through the film as we often do?
Yeah.
So, there's Batman and this opening sort of narration, because it's what Batman does. He narrates a lot. And then, he's voiced by Will Arnett, who voiced him in the Lego movie. What do you think of Will Arnett as Batman in this?
He was in BoJack Horseman.
Yes.
This is a show I haven't seen.
Okay. I'm pretty sure he's BoJack in BoJack Horseman. Okay. What did you think?
I've heard a lot of good things about this show.
What did you think of Will Arnett's voice acting as Batman in this?
Yeah. It was good voice acting.
Yeah. There's a very large voice cast, lots of famous people. Michael Cera, our favorite, we love the man.
Is he Robin?
Yeah, he's Robin in this one.
Alright.
Zach Galifianakis, the Between Two Ferns guy, and the Hangover guy, is the Joker.
Is the Joker?
Yeah. He's not, amazing in this, if I'm being completely honest. But he's fine. This film, there's who else have we got? Rosario Dawson in this film. She's in. Did you see The Mandalorian?
I saw The Mandalorian.
She was Ahsoka in Mandalorian.
Is that the
orange
lady?
The orange lady with the two lightsabers, the clear lightsabers.
The lady who in the Clone Wars TV show is trained by Anakin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of other people who aren't in it too much. You got Jenny Slate as Harley Quinn, Ralph Fiennes as Alfred.
I'll be honest, I didn't like Harley Quinn's voice acting in the movie. I thought it wasn't very Harley-like.
No, I didn't particularly care for it either. To be fair, I'm not a big fan of her, the Harley Quinn character in general, if I'm being completely honest.
Really?
She's even
in the live action.
She was better in the Suicide Squad, but she wasn't.
Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad? Which one?
The 2021 one, the James Gunn one, the one you saw and really liked.
Yeah, I like I like the one where she escapes and it's got all those animated like flowers and stuff.
Yeah,
Really cool scene.
that's the recent Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene.
Yeah, and I also really, really liked the Harley Quinn animated TV series.
I have no clue what that is.
It's a
It was have you watched Injustice, the movie that just came out? I don't know if it just came out. I just saw it.
No, I haven't watched
Harley
it.
Quinn's in there.
I'm aware of it. I've
You should
played
watch that.
the game.
I think we've already had this conversation.
We definitely have. It's on Netflix. Oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, there's lots of famous people. Conan O'Brien is in it. So this movie, it's Batman versus the Joker, and it's effectively a love story, but instead of using the word love, they use the words hate. Because Joker wants Batman to hate him and consider him to be his greatest enemy, which, Batman doesn't.
Yeah, it's a pretty very done before plot.
Yeah, that's sort of like, as much as I like the film, it's pretty basic, and I've kind of seen it before, and it's not really breaking new ground with animation. Because, I've seen the Lego Movie, and it's, the same thing here.
Yeah.
And then as well, the story...
It's still really good animation.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. It looks great and everything. It's just, I have seen it before, and, mean, it's different,
the
though.
The Lego Movie broke the ground, and, yeah.
Yeah, and... Yeah, I think that,
Yeah.
this is an enjoyable film, but it's not an amazing film. It's not it's not something that's going to be held up as one of the best animated films ever. It's not going to be anything like that. It's just a very enjoyable film. But yeah, so we've got Batman, and he's basically just the best at everything in this movie. He fights every major Batman villain at once, towards...
Yeah, I mean...
And, I was thinking about this as I was watching this, that this is kind of what Spider-Verse was but for Batman, in that it's a celebration of the Batman character in the way that Spider-Verse was a celebration of Spider-Man as a character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of movies are doing that kind of thing where they're, celebrating their whole thing. That's what No Way Home was, really.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, exactly. No Way Home was...
The movie I finally watched. Did you see that? I finally watched No Way Home.
Yeah, you gave it a 10 out of 10.
I bought it.
5 star.
I bought it on Amazon Prime.
But yeah, I mean, No Way Home is a live-action celebration of Spider-Man, and, this Lego Batman movie is an animated celebration of Batman. Because I feel like you can't really do a live-action equivalent to this, because the way Batman is now, they can't really do something fun. It has to be dark and depressing and sad, like the recent Batman film with Robert Pattinson was.
I didn't see that.
Okay, but whereas this film, Lego Batman movie, is only an hour 40 minutes, which I think is pretty good. I think most animated films are around this length, and it's good, because I feel like a lot of them don't have enough plot to sustain at 2 hours, I watched Spirited Away recently, and that film goes on forever. It goes on, it's only 2 hours, but it felt like an eternity. I just couldn't stand watching it. Didn't care for it at all.
Alright, you suck, that's right, I forgot.
But yeah, so...
I forgot you were going to get voted in alley somewhere because of your opinions on Spirited Away.
Yeah, I don't like it. I stand by that. But this film is good. And... so there's sort of this confrontation where Batman defeats all these villains, and he's got to, deal with this bomb. Joker's like, oh, you've got to decide between, capturing your greatest enemy or defusing this bomb. And Batman's just like, nah, I'm good. You're not my greatest enemy. I'm gonna go defuse the bomb. And Joker's, he's real upset by that. He's really upset. His feelings are hurt.
Those big cry eyes and...
Yeah, I don't really like that. I think it looks weird.
What? That's the best part of the movie.
when his eyes are just like grow, just like his eyes are just
Yeah.
becoming weird shapes.
Yeah, he's sad. He's like, wah, sad.
That was a very accurate imitation of what happened. But, and then I really like the scene sort of afterwards where he goes back to the Batcave and he's just in Wayne Manor, just all alone. I think that's really nice. I think it's a really nice, sort of indication of his character and sort of showing his emotional detachment from people, you know?
Yeah, he's a little forlorn boy.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice bit actually, and then it's I mean it's very basic though, like a character being alone and sad and learning to love others is like, I mean yeah, I've seen that before. Like I don't think, but also this is a kids film, so can you really like be too harsh with it if it's a kids film? You know what I'm saying? Like,
But there's some kids' film with real like depth, more than this film has. So
that is true. Like some kids films very much, you know, like Pixar for example is pretty great most of the time at doing big emotional moments and stuff and having really strong emotional messages that can resonate with kids and adults, you know. I think that's a thing Pixar is pretty great at. It's and this film is just sort of like, let's just do something that's probably been seen before, you know, but you know, it's not terrible. Still it's still fine. Like it's not bad is what I'm saying. I just don't, it's just kind of like I've seen it before.
yeah, I like the scene where he's watching that movie, then he laughs at the movie.
Yeah.
At the emotional scene.
Yeah.
What's that movie called?
Jerry Maguire with Tom Cruise, everyone's favorite. Yeah, and then he looks around.
Favorite Scientologist.
Yeah, but yeah. So after Batman is, you know, laughing at Jerry Maguire, he goes to sort of this winter gala, and sort of he goes and there's Commissioner Gordon, who he finds to be really attractive, which I think is
It's kind of a weird setup, because it's set up as like a love thing between them, and then in the end he's like, we're platonic friends.
Well, I think he was just saying that because...
Yeah, but they didn't have any conclusion to them at the end of the end of the movie at all.
They didn't have any what, sorry? Have any...
They didn't have any conclusion to that, even at the end of the movie.
I mean, I guess the conclusion is that they're friends and he doesn't want to do it. Well, but then I guess it is kind of set up like he's saying that even though he kind of still does like her, I guess. So maybe that doesn't...
Yeah.
And it's weird though, because in like, typically in the comics, she's younger than him.
Yeah.
And she
also,
has...
isn't she in a wheelchair?
In some versions of the comics, she gets shot by the Joker.
I only really remember her, like, in a wheelchair.
In a wheelchair.
Like
yeah, well, that's what happens. She gets shot by the Joker in one of the comics, and then she is confined to a wheelchair for a while, and so then she becomes Oracle and and basically helps Batman via, you know, talking to like an earpiece to him and helps him with stuff is basically what she does. But that is like in some iterations, like that's what most iterations of her character are. Well, not most iterations, but some.
She's got a relationship thing with Nightwing.
Yeah, or Robin, yeah, Dick Grayson, who is in this film. But I guess she's also younger. She's like around his age. Whereas she is portrayed to be older because Robin is a orphan, as we find, which is pretty consistent with the comics for him being an orphan. Well, yeah, they're at this gala and we're introduced to Barbara Gordon. She is still Commissioner Gordon's daughter, which is consistent with the comics. And yeah, she's there. And we also we see a scene before where Dick Grayson is at the orphanage, and they meet Batman, and he wants to, meet Batman because he's such a fanboy of him. And then he's talking to Bruce Wayne, and he gets adopted without Bruce even knowing it, which is again sort of classic comedy.
How's the process of that even work? So, he just says, yes, I'll adopt you, and then, that's the full legal process.
Yeah, he doesn't need to sign any paperwork. Literally, he could just walk up to a kid and be like, I'm adopting you, and boom, they're his kid now. They don't even have to be orphans. You can just say that, and they'll get a kid. Just quite disturbing, actually, if you really think about it. If you really think about this, Batman and Robin have a weird relationship, because he adopts this kid, and then eventually this kid becomes a superhero because of him, effectively. Which we can agree, or at least I can agree with people that it's a strange relationship.
I don't know. Well, they reconcile in the end, though, and they become a real...
Yeah, they become, they do...
son.
Yeah. In that, Batman accepts him as his son, as opposed to Robin just calling him Padre throughout the entire film. And then, then they're at this gala, and Barbara's talking about getting rid of Batman, because they don't need him, because he's the problem, which is a very common discussion in comics and other forms of Batman media, because they're like, don't...
Very recently... It's the superheroes are the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a very common superhero thing. That's like what Captain America Civil War was about.
And Superman.
Yeah, and Batman v Superman was kind of that as well. It's a very common... I mean, hell, you could argue that's what The Boys is kind of saying, that hey, superheroes, that's what a lot of the characters in the Boys are trying to do, trying to take down the Supes and Vought and Seven, rather, because they're the superheroes, and that's bad. But yeah, this and Bruce Wayne, he's being very subtle about his secret identity. He's just saying, I don't know, Batman's pretty cool, I don't think he's that bad, and then the Winter Gala is crashed by the Joker and co, and then Joker just gives himself up. It's definitely not suspicious at all.
Absolutely, definitely not.
And then Batman all the villains they give themselves up except for Harley Quinn, who disappears, but they don't notice that because she's sneaky and gets away in all the chaos. Batman is spying on him, which is very weird. It's is there anything that you really liked about this movie? Because going through the plot is just a bit boring at times. Is there anything that you really liked about the movie?
I love the animation. We already talked about the animation.
Yeah, the animation is excellent.
Really breaking ground, but I like the darker, because the Lego movie is very light. The colors and everything. I like the darker tones of...
Yeah, they're very much, because it's a lot of stuff during the day, and the final battle is during the day, and there's lots of, because they go to Cloud Cuckoo Land, where the Unikitty is, and all that kind of stuff. It's a very colourful movie, and this...
Yeah, this is more dark and gritty and...
Yeah, it's got elements of color, but it embraces the darkness of Batman as well. It's not just because I think a problem with a lot of Batman stuff is they go too far. They try to make it too serious, even though Batman as a concept is ludicrous and kind of dumb. I mean, a guy who dresses up as a bat, they don't embrace how occasionally stupid it is. Whereas this film, they just throw out every minor Batman villain they can, Condiment King and Kite Man, who is also in the Harley Quinn animated show and is the best part of that show. There's there's like Pencil Man or whatever he is, the pencil person. Like there's all these.
The Eraser, I believe.
The Eraser, yeah, there's Clock King, like all these sort of D-list.
There's the Polka Dot guy.
Polka Dot Man, yes, who was in The Suicide Squad and was one of the best parts of that film. But yeah, I just think that this film, really embraces Batman as a character and the just insanity that like his comics have left, and like it is like a full celebration of the Batman character. There's like the 80s, like there's like the Michael Keaton version of Batman suits. There's like the 60s Adam West one. There's the ones that had the nipples on them, which is the weirdest ones, which I liked. I liked that. Like it really embraces.
You like the nipple ones, so yeah.
Shut up. But yeah, and Batman, he doesn't believe that the Joker is, he's worried and gets the Phantom Zone projector. Well, he goes to get the Phantom Zone projector with Robin, who they tags along with his costume, which I hate. Because I hate that version of Robin where he's just got like the trunks and he's basically just wearing his underwear and boots. I don't like it. I think it looks weird. Don't you think that Robin looks weird like that?
Yeah, a bit. Especially when it's supposed to be like a child in this version.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing.
And
that it's a young. That's like that's like a young boy. Well, actually, how old is Robin meant to be in this? I don't know. He's an orphan. But I don't know, like, how old he's meant to be in it.
Well, to be an orphan, you definitely have to be under 18.
Yeah, so he's definitely not of legal age. If we would go, yeah, it's weird. I don't like it. I think that's it's strange. But yeah, Michael Cera is It's kind. Honestly, the thing is with the voice acting, like I know who the voices are because I know who's in the film, but they kind of don't really like. I think Robin somewhat sounds like Michael Cera, but he's not like.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize it was Michael Cera until you said he was.
Yeah, and you love Michael Cera. He's one of your favorites. Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Mike says.
Yeah, you love him.
Superbad. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, Superbad and yeah. Also Arrested Development, where he's interested in his cousin. That's
Oh yeah, I've only watched like a few episodes of that though.
You should watch at least watch the first 3 seasons because that's the really good stuff. But yeah, then they see the Justice League and they're having a raging party without Batman. Which honestly is fair enough, though. Batman would ruin any party. He would probably be like...
Well, it's just very clear he wants to be alone, and so I guess they just wouldn't invite him, because...
he gives off the impression that he wants to be alone. And so then he gets upset when people don't invite him to things. Even though he gives the impression that he wants to be alone, Well, yeah, so they go to... the fucking, what is it called again? Fortress of Solitude. That's what it's called. I forgot. That's what Superman's home thing is called. And yeah, they get the Phantom Zone project. Well, yeah, they go in and yeah, do they break in? No, they break into Arkham Asylum after they've gotten the Phantom Zone projector.
No, they don't break into they just walk up and then Barbara catches them and lets them in.
No, she doesn't she? No, she doesn't.
Because he's like, oh, have you decided to work with me now? And Batman's is like, oh, yeah, sure. And they take him to security, and then in security, they detect the Phantom Zone projector on, what's his name?
Joker? Robin, yeah. Robin had the Phantom Zone projector, yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? And then they beat the shit out of all the security guards.
Yeah, and then they... Wait, is it in the Fortress of Solitude where there's the scene with Robin and he's, like, jumping over things and he's avoiding the lasers and...
Yeah, because the plan was that Batman would distract Superman and then Robin would sneak in through like the little like gap in the thing that Batman couldn't fit into.
Anyway, they go to the Phantoms, they go to Arkham and they send Joker to the Phantom Zone, which was his plan all along. And then we just see all these just iconic villains, not just Batman villains, just villains. We've got the following characters that I've got them listed here. In that I found the list.
Yeah, you're not gonna remember them?
I can remember most. I'll see how many I can remember off the top of my head. Sauron, King Kong,
the Flying Monkeys,
the Wicked Witch,
the
Daleks, Voldemort, the agents from the Matrix,
the Vampire Man, what's his name?
Dracula, the shark from Jaws, a giant sea something that shoots balls of blueness at things.
Oh, that's definitely not Godzilla, is the name of the character.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, because it's got 4 arms, so it's not Godzilla. Godzilla has 2, but yeah. Who else is there? Medusa, of course, I forgot it. Medusa, who turns there's various swamp creatures, there's lots of skeletons, shark from Jaws, I think I mentioned that one before. I think that's all of them. Anyway, yeah, Joker, he's talking with all the villains. Oh, there's also dinosaurs as well. I just remember there's dinosaurs.
Oh, the raptors from whatever.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, so then Batman and Robin are locked up, because Barbara's like, oh, that was a bad one, screw you guys, you know. And then, I was watching this on, with subtitles, right? Because I'm one of those people who watches everything with subtitles. Because I am. And the subtitle said, Dick Sniffling? And I forgot that I forgot Robin's name was Dick. So for a brief second, I was like, sorry, what the fuck?
Oh, that's actually a really good joke in the movie where Batman asks what Robin's name is, and he's like, oh, it's Richard, but the other kids call me Dick. And then I was like, oh yeah, children can be mean.
That's one of those classic jokes that kids don't get, but adults get and think are funny as hell. But yeah, it said that, and I was Dick Sniffling, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I immediately was like, oh, that's Robin's real name, whoops. It's like, I'm a terrible person and I'm going to hell. If it existed, whoa, controversial.
Ooh.
So Harley gets the Phantom Zone projector and then just brings everybody back, and it's all gone to shit. They're just wrecking the town, you know, as they do, because that's what happens. And this is where, like, I feel the animation really gets to shine, because it's a lot of stuff going on, and the animation is really, it just shows a lot about that. It shows a lot of really unique stuff, you know, and what they're doing with the animation.
And the lighting's really cool.
Indeed. And they are set free by Barbara. And so it's Batman, Robin, Alfred, and Barbara. And they're like, what if we got these super villains here in Arkham to fight these guys? And then Batman's like, getting super villains to fight super villains? That's a dumb idea. Not too subtle jab, but Suicide Squad. Funny. They all team up, and then so after that, they all, you know, they head to Wayne Manor after Joker, he heads there, and then they're like, oh heck, Batman is Bruce Wayne's roommate. Funny.
I like how everyone's super dumb in the movie and no one can piece it together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the joke, is that they can't piece together the obvious connection between Batman and Bruce Wayne. And then, so then they get this. Well, also, when they leave Arkham, Robin just rips his jail suit off, and he's got the costume underneath. Also, I like how Batman keeps wearing the mask even when he's got in like his prison, like, outfit.
Yeah, it's Fortnite epic.
And yeah, but they, they get there and they take like an epic selfie. Well, Robin takes an epic selfie. And then Batman's like, oh heck, that's nice and all, but also fuck you guys, go home, leave, for reasonable reasons though. He's worried about them getting hurt and he doesn't want that to happen and have to deal with the consequences of getting people he cares about hurt. But they still get upsetty spaghetti about it. Yeah, they do this in Batman. He goes to Wayne Manor and he goes to the Batcave and he's got that. I'm a big fan of that thing where they've got that like glass room with like the mirrors and all that. And then they see someone and they're like, oh, it's a mirror, and they punch it and it's not there. And then they get, I'm a big fan of that kind of thing. But Batman, he goes against Joker and then he's yeeted to the Phantom Zone and he's like, well, I guess I'm stuck here,
Yes.
And then what's nuts? The woman who runs the Phantom Zone is like, oh look, we got a bad guy.
Oh, the Lego brick. Cool.
Yes, the Lego brick. And it's like, oh, we've got a bad guy. And then she's like, oh, you're not the same kind of bad guy. You're just,
The word's conventional.
Yeah, he's not a conventional bad guy. He,
But he did abandon his friends.
Yeah, his friends, and it's and that's why he's a bad guy, because he abandoned his friends. And then he's like, and I like that he's willing to accept that, like, yeah, I kind of suck. Just let me capture all the villains, and I'll send them back, and then I'll come back here too. Like, it's effectively a self-sacrifice. Even though we know, well, I mean, it depends on who you ask, of course, but I kind of am annoyed when films in that have self-sacrifices, because it's kind of like, well, like, I don't know, like, it takes a bit for me to care. Yeah, anyway, yeah, Batman, he realizes, oh, I'm not the best person ever, I need to change. Or Eddie's rather like, listen, just send me down, I'll capture these villains, I'll bring them back, and then, I'll come back here. And then, yeah, he apologizes, he sent back, apologizes to his friends, and then, they team up, to defeat the Joker. And then, they fight all these villains, and then they just throw around the Phantom Zone projector like it's nothing, and so then they're all sent back. All these villains, Also,
the first, you can refer to him as Fortnite Joker, because Joker was in Fortnite. But
yeah.
The first time I watched it, I really thought they would involve Superman at all. Like, you'd ever notice that his fucking super important thing went missing.
So, wait, you thought
and,
he was going to be involved, like Superman would just come in?
I thought he would realize for a second that his
Phantom Zone projector's gone.
At all. But no.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, I guess because if Superman was involved, the movie would be over like that,
Yeah, and also it's a Batman movie. Don't over.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, all the other Batman villains, they help, because they were, Joker was like neglected then and left them, and but then they all team up and they all take them down except for the Joker. Because they're like, oh yeah, we should probably go defuse that bomb, and then it goes.
I actually like that. He's like, okay, trying to go defuse, and then it just explodes.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. How they're like, oh, the bomb went off. I do think that's a nice touch. Because usually it'd just be like, oh no, we've defeated the villains, but we've got like only 30 seconds to defuse the bomb, and then it comes down to like the last second, and then they cut the wire, But this is just like, no, it goes off. And then it splits in half. And so then they start stacking upon each other's heads and reaching across to grab each other across the aisle. It's, because, that, I was gonna complain about the realism, but this is a fucking Lego Batman movie, so maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah. And they kind of even reinforce that with like the fact that it all go click together at the end.
Yeah. And it makes sense though. It like, cause again, this is something you can only do with a Lego movie, and a Lego Batman movie as well. You know, you can't do this with like, you can't do it in live action, cause that's just weird, you know, like, but it, you know, you can do it with an animated film, and it works, and it makes sense, and it, you know, and then it's the nice sort of, ending of Joker and Batman, you know, coming together, and Batman being like, hey, I really hate you, and Joker's just like, oh, you hate me, I hate you too, and then they, you know, they do the whole classic, I hate in movies when characters are like, oh, I love you, it's like, no, I love you more, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, I don't care. I just find love stories to be incredibly boring and bland.
Because you're single.
No, I guarantee, even if I was in a relationship, I'd still think they're dumb. And then, yeah, Batman and Joker, I guess they reconcile. I guess that's the way to put it, even though they're not technically reconciling. And then Batman sort of goes to be like, yeah, this is my fate. I'm gonna go back to the Phantom Zone. And they're just like, psych! You ain't going back, bitch. You did a good thing here, and now you can stay here. You can you know, continue to be on the planet Earth. You know, you can stay with these people. You know, and then Batman has changed, and he saved people, and then they got a family. They've all got their own bat signals, which we saw earlier on before.
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
I don't know how you got colour onto the sky, but...
Yeah, that, it's a Lego movie, it doesn't matter, the realism is irrelevant. And then, yeah, they let the villains go, cause they're like, oh, we'll give them a 30-second head start, because, you know, they can't hang with...
I think they said 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah, they're like, 30-minute head start or whatever, cause they're like, they can't, you know, hang with this new Bat family, and then they've got an epic song to round out the movie, and then that's the end. And now we're not getting this, and we're not getting another Lego Batman movie, unfortunately.
Why not?
Basically so a sequel was announced, so here's actually cancelled sequel, so a sequel was planned to be released in 2022, this year. The rights for DC Comics are owned by Warner Brothers, but Universal Pictures acquired the rights to the Lego Movie franchise in 2020. And since this is in that same universe, they own the rights effectively. And it was revealed by the director that it was being written by Michael Wardren. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, well, he was an assistant writer on Community, he worked on Rick and Morty, he wrote for Loki, which is a show I know you're a big fan of. He was one of the writers on the Loki TV series.
I just started rewatching it. I just started rewatching it because it is very good.
Yeah. And he also wrote for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And the other writer was Dan Harmon of Community and Rick and Morty.
Epic.
Which would have been very epic because Dan Harmon is a great writer and would have made that film fucking excellent because he's great. And apparently it would have focused on Batman's relationship with the Justice League, particularly Superman, and the main villains would have been Lex Luthor and the OMAC, which is called Omni-Mind and Community, or originally it was called the Observational Metahuman Activity Construct. And it was tentatively titled Lego Super Friends, which is like Justice League, basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And any sort of final things you want to say about the movie before we give our ratings?
Good movie, great visuals, okay story, done before a million times.
Yeah. What would you give it out of 10?
I don't know. 7?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much gonna echo those sentiments. It's a really enjoyable, fun film. I'd be happy to rewatch it pretty much any time. There's a lot of fun. It's very basic. I've seen a lot of the stuff in it before, but it is an enjoyable film, and I give it a 7 out of 10. So thank you all for joining me for this week's episode. This might be the biggest clusterfuck of an episode to date. Check out the other episodes that I've done with Jay. Superbad, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and 8 Mile. All of which are far better episodes. So if this is your first episode, I apologize. Any things you want to say before I end this?
Epic.
And thank you all for listening to this one. Check out all the previous episodes I've done. And I will see all of you guys in the next one. Goodbye.